Most students try to force a Fischer projection into a Newman projection, and it feels impossible. But here's the secret. The Fischer projection is already drawn as an eclipsed Newman projection. Once you see that, the whole process becomes automatic. Hey there, ninjas. If you've ever stared at a Fischer projection and thought, I have no idea how this becomes a Newman projection, you're not alone. The trick is to recognize something that most textbooks never say clearly. The Fischer projection is already showing you an eclipsed Newman projection. If you line up your viewpoint correctly, the conversion becomes mechanical. I'll walk you through the exact steps. No memorization, no mental gymnastics. This isn't a video about what Fischer projections are or what projection they're meant to display, but if you're interested, I have that video linked down below. But as a reminder, the vertical bonds in a Fischer projection are assumed to be going away from you as the viewer, and the horizontal bonds are coming towards you as the viewer. This is what the Fischer projection is depicting in 3 dimensions. And here's the trick. If we look from the bottom to the top, the bottom carbon becomes the front carbon of our Newman projection, and the top carbon becomes the back carbon of our Newman projection. That's it. This viewpoint guarantees that the Newman projection will be in the eclipsed conformation. So, to convert the Fischer projection into the Newman projection, look from the bottom and make that first vertex carbon on the bottom the front carbon, and the top one the back carbon. I'll explain why we chose this direction and not the top in a little bit, but keep that locked in. To decorate the Newman projection with the other groups, start with the vertical groups in the Fischer projection. Recall, it's these vertical groups that are going away from you as the viewer. So when we tilt the Fischer projection into the Newman projection, these groups that are away from you will end up down in the southern hemisphere of your Newman projection. Carbon 1 will be down in the southern hemisphere attached to carbon 2. And carbon 4 looks like it's pointing up, but remember, it's going away from you. When we tilt this into the Newman projection, it is going to be pointed down in the back carbon attached to number 3. Careful with that one. That one's the pain point. It looks like number 4 is going up, but when we rotate it into the Newman projection, it's pointed down in the southern hemisphere, eclipsed with carbon number 1. Now we'll place the horizontal groups on the Newman projection. And this right here is why it's important to look from the bottom to the top. When we tilt this Fischer projection into the Newman projection, these horizontal groups will be pointed up into the northern hemisphere. And the beauty of looking at the Fischer projection from the bottom is the groups that are on the right of the Fischer projection stay on the right of the Newman projection. As I rotate this Fischer projection into a Newman projection, this bromine group will be attached to carbon 2 up in the northern hemisphere, attached to the front carbon. This OH group will be up in the northern hemisphere, attached to the back carbon, off to the right side of the Newman projection. And the same will be true for these groups on the left side of the Fischer projection. As we rotate this Fischer projection into the Newman projection, these groups on the left will be sticking up in the northern hemisphere, off to the left side of the Newman projection. This hydrogen, attached to carbon 2, will be up in the northern hemisphere, off on the left side of the Newman projection. This fluorine, attached to the back carbon, will also be up on the left side of the Newman projection. And this is our Newman projection for the Fischer projection. Due to the way the Fischer projection is built, it rotates very cleanly into an eclipsed Newman projection every time. Sometimes professors prefer the staggered Newman projection. They are more stable. You can always rotate the eclipsed Newman projection into the staggered notation. That's a straightforward rotation. Rotate the back carbon up until it's staggered with the front carbon. Rotating these two CH3 groups anti to each other would put this in the most stable conformation for the Newman projection. But pay close attention to the plan of attack. We didn't go straight from the Fischer projection to the staggered Newman projection. That doesn't flow. Always remember, the Fischer projection is naturally in an eclipsed orientation, then we can rotate it to staggered if needed. If you only remember 3 things, always look from the bottom to the top. The vertical groups are eclipsed in the southern hemisphere, and right stays right, left stays left. Once you lock those in, converting Fischers to Newman projections feels less like a puzzle and starts to feel predictable. Most of the time, though, we won't convert Fischer projections into Newman projections. We'll convert them directly into line angle structures. And if you'd like to level up your ninja levels even further, I have the video about that I'll link to down below. You got this, ninjas.
I'm glad you're here with us for this training today. Check out these other videos in my playlists to see if there's anything else that can help you level up your ninja levels even further. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe.